Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eleanor and today I want to do a review of Fellside by M.R Carey. I have read two of M.R Carey's books before. He wrote The Girl with All the Gifts and The Boy on the Bridge. Both are part of the same universe and it's a zombie apocalypse story. And there's also a film, The Girl with All the Gifts is now a film. I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list. I'm really bad at watching films though. So because I'd read two of those books by him, I was intrigued when I saw this book, Fellside. I knew it wasn't part of the same world, it wasn't anything to do with zombies, it wasn't post-apocalyptic or anything like that, but I was intrigued because I did like those books by him, and I thought it would be safe to assume that I might quite like this. So this story is following a young woman. She's called Jess, and at the very start of the book you find out that she is a heroin addict and that she set fire to her flat with the intention of taking her own life. Now this isn't a spoiler, but if you're wanting to go in with nothing more, then I'm going to keep going. She accidentally murders the boy in the flat next door or upstairs, and she then gets sentenced to prison. The book starts with her in hospital because obviously she was in a fire and she is very, very badly burned. And this is a very strange story and not something I've ever read before. It's set in a prison, which I've never read a book set in prison before, and Jess has lost her memory, and it's her struggle with herself to come to terms with what she's done to this child, and learning about the inter-prison politics of this women's prison, Fellside. I was very intrigued by this. I love learning things about the criminal justice system. I love watching documentaries. I really find crime documentaries really interesting. I don't, however, really enjoy reading crime fiction. I don't know, I just don't find like detective-y stories that appealing. But this was different. I don't know. Maybe it was just because it was set in a prison. I found it very intriguing. I did, however, find it quite slow-paced. It took quite a while to get to the point. There is a supernatural element to this. I won't say what that is because it's more interesting if you find it on your own. But I do wish that element was more in this story. It was just very lightly smattered and you didn't get the full impact until very, very near the end. And I felt like it was far too big a book for what was needing and what the author was trying to say. There's just lots of inter-prison politics with drug smuggling and in the jail and the prison officers and the other women in the prison and what they've done. And it was just very intense and very dramatic. And the whole way through you've got Jess who's going through the court system and trying to work out whether she actually did kill this child or not. And overall I did really enjoy this story, but it may not work for some people. Some people may not be that interested and find it far too slow paced, and that the payoff in the end maybe wasn't satisfying. I did quite like it. I can't go into too much detail because it would majorly spoil the story. But I do like how everything kind of wrapped up. I just was a bit frustrated that it took so long to get there and that you find out all these answers like 3 pages from the end when this is a fairly lengthy book. It's, yeah, just under 500 pages. And I don't think it needed to be this long. I think this could have been told in a much more concise manner. And I think it would have had maybe more impact. The fact that it's drawn out does it a disservice. This story does raise a lot of questions about ethics and morals within the prison system, and although this is a fictional world and maybe certain things are exaggerated just for the sake of the story, it does raise interesting points about how people in prison are treated by those outside, by how they treat each other, by how prison officers perhaps treat them, and it's just a very interesting ethics question. And the way this prison is run, you'd like to think this place doesn't ever exist anywhere in the world because it's far from moral or good at all, and not really much rehabilitation going on. But it does raise a lot of interesting questions. I've seen online on Goodreads and in reviews that people are classifying this as horror. I wouldn't put this in the horror genre. I would say it's more ghost story, a light bit of intrigue. It's got some violence in it because of the nature of the story and what's going on. There is a lot of violence. It is an adult book, but I wouldn't class it in the horror genre at all. and I wouldn't say it's very like M.R Carey's other books that are set in the post-apocalyptic world. I do enjoy his writing style, and if you are intrigued by anything I've discussed about this book, do check it out. But I would encourage you to maybe read a couple of reviews, properly read their synopsis online, and see if it actually is something for you, because I've seen a lot of people pick this up thinking it's going to be like his other duology, and it's not like them at all. So thus they were disappointed by that. So just be careful going in. And yeah, I had fun. It was a good read, and I'm maybe intrigued to see what else M.R Carey writes and maybe pick up more of his books in the future. Let me know if you've read the story or if you have any interest now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.